Hello, everybody. It's me, Bigfoot, Michigan Rabbit. Saturday, April 20th. Time for another encounter story emailed from a subscriber or someone else that perhaps is not a subscriber. I've got like 56 of these. I haven't read like half of them. In fact, I just opened this one. And I was going to do another encounter story from my book. And by the way, thanks for last week for commenting on the story from my book and suggesting whether or not I should do an audio book. I appreciate all the great comments. So thank you for that. I was going to do that today, but I just happened to open this. And I said, you know what? I've got to do this story. It's been sitting here for a few months. And I said, man, I'm going to do this. And I almost got so mad at myself because I deleted the email. What I do is I'll take an email and I transfer it to another program because it makes it easier to read. And I deleted the email on accident before it got downloaded, or so I thought. But thankfully, I was able to capture and save this. It comes from an e-hollerin'. And I must say, this is different. We always talk about how a lot of Bigfoot encounters or witness stories are the same yet different. This is very different. But I've heard similar things. In fact, the emailer went on to say that they put this out about 10 years ago and didn't really get a lot of feedback or response. So said, hey, Rob, why don't you put this on make a video if you don't mind. And I don't know if this is a woman or a man, but bear with me when I do the story because this is written by this person's grandfather. It's written in first person. The grandfather is telling it as though it sounds like it just happened today, but it didn't happen back in the 80s. It's a first person write. In fact, the grandfather wrote this in pencil, passed it on to his grandkid, who typed it to have for posterity. And so then they, again, sent me the email to do this. And they said it's been in circulation. I looked up an e-holler and couldn't find it, but it doesn't matter to me because if you do send a story into me via your email, it's eventually will get read, and I'm going to read this one. So again, this perhaps has been out there. First person by the grandfather, which turned over to the grandkid. And so that's to avoid confusion. This is how it was written. And I got a fun thing for you guys, too. A lot of people have been telling me to switch from Hellman's Mayonnaise to Duke's Mayonnaise. A lot of you guys, in fact. Some of you have sent me that via in comments and some things. I think I did a show where we're talking about mayo. So Duke's, I know a lot of you guys are from the South that watch this. Is Duke's from the South? Is it regional? I can't find it in a store. I want to make the move and try it at least, but I'm not going to buy it through Amazon. I'm not buying food through Amazon. So leave a comment. Tell me about Duke's, would you? And also give me a like on this on your way out, and let me know what you think of this story as well. So I'm going to get on with this. It says, I am 30 years old now. Again, written in first person by the grandfather, sent on to the grandkids. I have lived in the same holler since I was 5 years old. My parents bought a farm here in West Virginia back in about 81 and had 64 acres surrounded by woods, animal trails, and caves. Our neighbors had 3 boys about the same age as me, and their cousin would come over on the weekends and in the summertime to hang out with us all. I can remember all 5 of us boys disappearing deep in the woods from morning till dark, doing everything from playing cowboys and Indians to exploring the caves, old hunting cabins, and going swimming. Anyway, as I sit here and reminisce about my childhood, another boy/creature appears in my memories. I do not remember a name for him, even though I know and remember there was Billy, Eddie, and Andy. They were cousins with Jason, this other guy. I cannot remember a name for the 5th friend, the creature boy. All I can remember is that he always met up with us when we were deep in the woods, and that he never followed us home. He was shorter than us, but his feet were very big, much bigger than ours, and he had way more hair than all of us. He had more body on his hair than all of us combined or put together. It was long, it was black. His skin color wasn't white, but it wasn't black. It was the 1980s, and around here, most but not all adult people were prejudiced. We never saw many blacks or Hispanics around here. Us kids did not care. Yes, he was different, but to us kids, he was a friend, and we had a lot of fun every day. We were not afraid of him, no matter what he looked like. He was not scary. He was just different looking. He was just more different looking than what we were used to. And at that time, so was a black person. They were different as well. I guess we viewed him like a person that grew up different than us. Much different. I remember playing for hours with him in the woods for years and years. But as time went on, we grew up and started riding ATVs and driving around and chasing girls. I did not or cannot recall seeing him anymore, so I figured he grew up much like us and found a girlfriend as well. Well, the years went by and I almost forgot about that part of my childhood until the spring when Jason and myself were deep in the woods and we were digging for yellow root. When all of a sudden, we felt like we were being watched. Then Jason threw a rock at me to get my attention. He pointed across the creek about 50 yards, and I saw it, or him, our hairy friend. Much taller than us by now, at least 7 foot tall. Long, black hair, blackish complected skin. He was standing in a clearing looking right at us. We nearly crapped ourselves at first, then we both realized that what we were looking at was our hairy friend all grown up. He stood there staring at us for about 45 minutes when Jason and I finally yelled to tell him that we were digging some yellow root to sell. We were going to leave some for him on our way out. As we were filling our bags up, gathering our digging tools, and heading for the ATV, our hairy, massive friend made a bone-chilling yell or scream. And as we turned our heads towards where he was, and standing alone with him stood what appeared to be him, along with perhaps his wife and 2 children. So you guys, there is this grown-up creature / boy of their childhood standing there, yells at them. He's now with what the grandfather explains as a wife and 2 kids. They are also covered in hair, a variety of sizes. We waved at them and yelled, "You got a good-looking family there," and told him that we would be back another day and dig some more. A few days later, we did get back in the woods to discover that the roots were laid out for him. They were all missing, but replaced with a bundle of wildflowers and acorns. I guess it was his way of paying us for digging the roots for him. We took those gifts and left more roots with a pile of berries that grow on them in the spring after the clearing. I did not believe this creature friend of ours being harmful in any way towards humans, because if he could, I'm sure he could have very easily killed us or at least harmed us. He could have done that when we were all kids. Also, he seemed to know when it is us in the woods. He seems to know that it was us in the woods versus someone else, because I have never heard of anyone else seeing him. So apparently these kids, there were stories or no stories about this being of the forest. Only appeared to these group of kids, I guess. It has been a while since I was 10 years old, but you can ask anything you like. But let me tell you this, I do not go looking for him or his family every day. I just feel myself lucky when I do see him. I do feel that these memories about this creature were brought upon for a reason. I do believe that Sasquatches are indeed a race of people, Indians of some sort with a rapid hair growth problem. I don't know. I do know that when we were children, Jason's grandma was canning deer meat as she does every winter, and always, after she is done, she kicks the back door open and throws the boiling water out in the ground. But this time, my one hairy buddy's cousin was standing in the way, getting splashed from the neck down to his belly button, instantly melting the hair right in front of him. All Grandma said was he made one hell of a scream or a yell and soared off back into the woods. A few months later in the spring, our neighbors had a few cows that were mauled by a big predator. Cat, perhaps. I don't know. Was it our friend from the woods? This is an extremely weird story to bring up. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, I believe it to be a human race of some sort. At least in this instance, it was not threatening. I, for one, am not in belief of people that call these things creatures or beings. I today think the Sasquatch is an actual human of some sort. Okay, everybody, that was interesting. I mean, this grandfather, again, first person sent to me by a grandchild. E. Holleran, I believe, was the email. I regret that I lost the actual email address. Yeah, they saw this hairy kid as a kid. They're playing with this hairy creature boy, I guess, and the years go by. They see it all growing up with a family. You know, I said at the beginning of this that a lot of these encounters are the same yet different. This was definitely different. I've heard similar instances. Have you heard similar instances? Have you heard this before? He says that this has been out circulating for a while. I couldn't find it. But it's immaterial anyways, because I got the email. Thankfully, I was able to save it and share that with you guys. I hope you liked that one. Don't forget, tonight at midnight, I'm going live with the girls, Brandy and Krista. Bigfoot, Michigan Rob. YouTube, please subscribe if you're new. My book, if you bought my book, please leave a review. I would really appreciate that because it does help. It does help sales. Book 2 is coming out middle of the summer. Again, BMR, hope you like that. Leave a comment, leave a like. Hey, let me know. Dukes versus Hellmans, the Mayonnaise Challenge. Let me know. Maybe you can tell me tonight on the live. BMR, have a great weekend. I'm out.